Greetings, my colleagues. I'm just going to stream live from Fadi. So I am just starting now. My name is Mr. Mufokeng.
Good afternoon, colleagues and my dear learners. My name is Ms. Modise N.E. Today I'm going to present to you the number patterns. I'm going to present number patterns. Then we start first by defining the number patterns. What are the number patterns? Then one may ask him or herself that ma'am has said we are going to talk about the number patterns. Then when she defines the number pattern, she starts by the word sequence. So you don't have to worry about that. I will explain it to you later. So here we say number pattern is the sequence of numbers that follow a specific pattern. Then we have the first example. The first example, we are having 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Then this is the specific arrangement of the numbers, and it is called a number pattern. Then we have another example, which is example 2, that is having 1, 3, 7, 5, and 9. So this one is called the sequence of numbers, or we can say they are the number patterns. When we talk about the number patterns, we talk about this arrangement that has been made here on 2 examples. Then we come to the sequence. What is the sequence? I think some of you have heard grade 10 or grade 11 learners talking about the sequence and series or something like a number sequence. So that term is most dominant in grade 10, from grade 10 to 12. But there is nothing to worry about when we see the sequence. Sequence and patterns, I can say to you, they are the synonyms, because they explain one thing. You can say number sequence or you can say the number patterns. So we want to know, okay, here is the arrangement of the numbers in a certain pattern or in a certain sequence. So what do we call each number in this sequence? So each number in this sequence is called a term. Each number in the sequence or each number in a pattern is called a sequence. It's called a term, not a sequence. I'm sorry for that, my dear learners. Each number in the sequence, it is called a term. Like here we have term number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means 2 will be term number 1. 3, 2 and 4 will be term number 2. 6 will be term number 3. 8 will be term number 4. Same applies here on the next sequence. We have 1, but your 1 will be term number 1. We have 3, and 3 will be term number 2. 5 will be term number 3. 7 will be term number 4. That is how we call our numbers in the sequence. We call them the terms. So on that sequence, we have talked about on the previous slides, we have something that is called the constant difference or the constant ratio. It will depend on the arrangement of the pattern or of the sequence. Then here, as you can see, we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. We have 2, 4, 6, and 8, and then we check, do we have a constant difference here or the constant ratio? Do we have a division, multiplication, addition, or subtraction? Then we can see that here we have addition. So when we have addition, we will say we have the constant difference, not a constant ratio. So you can see when you say 4 minus 2, you get 2. 6 minus 4, you get 2. 8 minus 6, you get 2. Or even when you say 2 plus 2, you get 4. 4 plus 2, you get 6. 6 plus 2, you get 8. So our constant difference here is 2. So we can, verbally you can say the difference between the first and the second term is 2 continuously. Then that means you can conclude by saying the constant difference is 2. Then the second example is where we have 4, 7, 10, and 13. So here you can see you can do it reversibly. It is also allowed. You can say 4, from 4, how many am I going to add to get 7? Obviously, you're going to get 3. From 7, how much am I going to add to get 10? And I'm going to get 3 as the answer. From 10, how much am I going to add to get 13? That means I'm going to add 3. Then you can conclude by saying my constant difference here is 3. Then we move on to the next slide. Here, except identifying the constant difference, we can also present the whole pattern verbally. If we don't want to say it in numbers, you can say it verbally. You tell someone what has happened on that sequence actually. What is happening in this sequence? Then, like we have seen that we are going to add 2 after each term, in each term continuously. Then, verbally, when you present this pattern or the sequence, you will say you add 2 to each term continuously to get the next term. You add 2 continuously to each term to get the next term. And on the example 2, you have 4, 7, 10, and 13. That means here you are going to add 3 to each term continuously to get the next term. So these examples are the same as the example we did on the previous slides. So I think now each and every one of you is now aware on how to get these 3. So I'm not going to explain it again because of time. So one may ask himself or herself that why are we learning these number patterns? Okay, my dear learners, we learn the number pattern so that we must have the proper support on foundations for us to recall on counting sequence. We must understand the number operation. Remember when you work with integers, when we add integers, or when we subtract, when we multiply, that is where our skill of number operation will be needed. And we must also able to make prediction and form logical connections. And the number patterns are also important for foundation for the later mathematical thinking and reasoning. Sometimes you'll have to reason why the situation has happened. So these number patterns are providing us with the skill of reasoning and thinking. It also provides us with problem solving skills. So when you understand the number patterns, you can be able to solve the problems based on the number patterns, or the other your problem skills will be well equipped when you have the basic of the number patterns. So in real life situation, number patterns, they help in stories for you to understand stories. And some of you may like to do dance, and then the number patterns will help you with the skill of dancing because you will dance using the certain pattern. And number pattern can also help you with the arrangement of the objects. It can be objects, chemicals, the clothes pattern. When you want to maybe to draw, let's say flowers, you'll know that if for a certain child I did draw 2 flowers, and then for the next dress I will draw 4 flowers. So that is how number patterns are important in real life situation, or that is the reason why we must learn the number patterns. So I have explained to you what are the number patterns and the reasons why do we learn number patterns. So here is our main story now. We are getting to the main business of the day. I want you to be able to solve the questions based on the number sequence in future. So for you to be able to do that, you must be able to answer these examples. So we have example 1. It says consider the following sequence or pattern. I have attached the pattern next to the word sequence so that you can recall that sequence and pattern, they are one and the same thing. So here you have the sequence with 4, 7. We have sequence with 7. I'm sorry for that. We have 10, 7, 4, and 1. So the first question, it says write down the next 3 terms of the pattern. So for you to be able to write the next 3 terms of the pattern, you must understand first what is happening actually on the pattern here. As you can see that you have 10, 7. You will say how much am I going to add from 10 to get 7, or how much am I going to subtract from 10 to get 7? Then you will realize that you will subtract 3 from 10 to get 7. So that means here your constant difference will be minus 3. So you say 10 minus 3, it gives you 7. You say 7 minus 3, it gives you 4. You say 4 minus 3, it gives you 1. That means for the next 3 terms, you must say minus 1. Minus 3, you will say 1 minus 3, then it will give you minus 2. Then you will say minus 2 minus 3, then it will give you minus 5. Then you will say minus 5 minus 3, then it will give you minus 8 as the answer. Then we go to 1.2. 1.2, it says write down the value of term number 4. Remember, when we start with our presentation, I've explained to you that each number in the sequence is called a term. So they want you to write the term number 4 here. Then you'll check, okay, I have my 10 here. You have 10. The 10 is the first term. 7 is the second. This is the third. And this one is the fourth term. So your answer for 1.2 will be 1. Then on 1.3, they say which term is equal to minus 5. Then we have term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, term number 4. Then for term, it says which term is equal to negative 5. Then you will continue with your sequence up until you find a term number 5, term that is equal to negative 5. Then I think on this next slide you will see your answers there. I think the term that will be negative 5, it will be term number 6, but we will work it out together to see if it is true that it is negative 5. Then 1.4, it says write down the value of n. I think here it is not in full. You write the value of n You write the value of n if your term number is -2. You write the value of term number of the n if your term number is -2. Then 1.5, it says write down the pattern in words or verbally. Then here it is where you will say you subtract 3 from each term to get the next term. And then what is our constant difference here? In the sequence, our constant difference is going to be -3. So on this slide is where I have written all the answers for the questions that appeared on the first slide. I'm sorry for that, my dear learners. Our time is up. So I think I will start with by explaining your questions if you have some questions, especially on the previous slides of the first question. But I will make sure that tomorrow I continue with the second example so that you can have more clarity on the number patterns. For number 1, here are the 3 next colleagues and my dear learners. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.